So it was probably one of the weirdest experiences I've had, waking up at like 7 o'clock in the morning and then being like, Progress starts in an hour. I'm used to them starting in the evening or in the afternoon, but sitting there, bowl of cereal, watching Progress, that's the life. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I'm Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about Progress Wrestling Chapter 179, Progress Las Vegas. That's right, this is the big WrestleMania weekend show in which Progress are taken to Las Vegas as part of GCW's The Collective, and they had booked a hell of a card. Boisterous Behavior versus Lycos Jim, Minoru Suzuki versus Cara Noir, and a massive main event featuring Michael Uku and Luke Jacobs. Yeah, this was a stacked old show. This was a stacked old show. Had a lot of potential to be a potential show of the year candidate. And was it? We'll dive into that in just a little bit. But before we do, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below. I'll try to apply to every single one of them as we dive into this. Starting with the overall vibe of the show. Progress Las Vegas was very much a showcase. It was very much a, here are some great matches, here are the talent of Progress Wrestling doing their thing, and that is good in that regard. There were little hints of story progression, but not as much as we see in usual Progress shows like big angles or big promos. There were some angles and some sort of subtle hints in matches, which I appreciated, but this was like 2 hours long, 2 hours, 15 minutes long or something like that. It wasn't a particularly long show because it was just sort of match. And I can appreciate that. In-ring storytelling was a lot of this show. And yeah, I really got on board for it. I thought overall this was a really good show. Like really good. With a match of the year contender in there because it was a hoot, an absolute banger of a match. And I'm talking about the main event. Yeah. Really, really good. Just a really, really good show. I do have one slight nitpick. I don't know if it's necessarily a nitpick, just a choice that I'm not 100% sure if I'm on board for, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. But overall, yeah, this was a really fun and entertaining show, and we'll dive straight into it, starting with the opening contest between Boisterous Behavior, Leon Slater and Man Like DeReiss, taking on Lycos Jim, Kid Lycos and Lycos 2. Two of my favourite teams, 4 of my favourite wrestlers. This match was great. I knew this match was going to be great. As soon as this was announced, I knew this was going to be great. And it was. It was sort of face versus face. Good guys. Some team playing up a little bit heelish. Leon Slater was getting a bit boisterous, as the name suggests. Lycos 2 was sort of pie-facing Leon Slater at times, so they were straddling the lines, which I think they did really well. But the in-ring action in this was so good. The match starts out really fast-paced with Leon Slater and Kid Lycos 2 in the ring. They have amazing chemistry. And then it ultimately gets to Kid Lycos making the hot tag, getting in. But then he starts getting worked over by Boisterous Behavior. And he makes that hot tag to Kid Lycos 2. And Kid Lycos 2 has a great hot tag. Like, he starts running wild. And it looks insanely cool. One of my favourite spots of the match was like how do I even describe this? A reverse DDT and then a jumping drop kick from Kid Lycos in which he hits a senton onto the person who's taking the DDT and a drop kick to the other person who's going to make the save. That looked amazing. And yeah, you get a big Spanish fly from Kid Lycos too. You have a top rope brainbuster from Kid Lycos, and that just looks class. Anytime a brainbuster is hit, it looks class. Probably the main story of this match was just Lycos Jim trying to hit the brainbuster, and they never managed to do it. They would always get someone up, get Man Like DeReiss up or Leon Slater up, and then they'd be saved by their partner. But it was a top rope brainbuster, which looked, again, pretty devastating. And then a brainbuster from Kid Lycos 2 on Man Like DeReiss, picking up the 1, 2, 3. Big win. Big win there for Lycos Jim. Potentially going up against Sunshine Machine. They're both in strong style, but they have beaten Mills and Nico Angelo, and now they've beaten Boisterous Behaviour, so they are climbing the ranks of the tag team division. I hope we get a Lycos Gym Sunshine Machine feud, because that will be an absolute dream. Yeah, this was a really cool, really fun, hot way to open the show. Both teams were awesome. Match was awesome. Big thumbs up. Then in a big triple threat for the WXW Unified World Championship, we had the champion, one called Manders, taking on Marcus Mathers, taking on Tate Mayfairs. Now, this match I liked that they played up a lot of the history between these guys, particularly the history between Tate and Manders, because they had their match, I think, at For the Love of Progress was when they had their match. And yeah, that was sort of played up on here. They were squaring off, they were pushing Marcus Mathers to the side, making him not feel like a part of this feud, but then Marcus Mathers just inserting himself into the feud and inserting himself into the match. And that was how the match started, with a big stare down between Mayfairs and Manders. And then, that's really hard to say, Mayfairs, Manders and Mathers. Yeah, this is going to be a rough one to get through, but it was class. This was a really damn good triple threat match. Like, they worked it so that one person would go to the outside and then the other two would work in the ring. But when it got to the final sequences, it was sort of dodging other people's moves, hitting the other person. It worked like a really good triple threat, and it was just a solid triple threat overall. There was genuinely a point where I thought Tate might win the belt when he hit a great sort of fisherman neck breaker on one called Manders and then a froggy elbow for a near fall. That was really well executed, but it ultimately came down to one called Manders and his deadly ass lariat, because he went to take out Marcus Mathers. Marcus Mathers ducks, he clocks Tate Mayfairs, and Mayfairs rolls to the outside of the ring. Then a quick flurry from Mathers, who's hitting some really cool looking kicks, but then he goes for a springboard, ducked by Manders, lariat, 1, 2, 3. Manders retains. There's a brief little stare down between Tate and Manders, potentially hinting at a rematch, which could be interesting down the line. But yeah, I found this really, really enjoyable. Like, it was a really good triple threat, and I hope we see more of Manders in Progress moving forward, not just the US shows. Yeah, awesome triple threat. Sadly, Axel Tischer was unable to make this show, which meant that we got Mike D versus a replacement, and that was Kuro. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I hope it's not Kuro, but Kuro. Kuro is awesome. Like, Kuro is awesome, but this match was a great showcase of both guys, but Mike D coming out of this match looked amazing. Like, props to Kuro, because he made Mike D look like $1 million with stuff that happened in this match. A sick ass. It was so early on into the match, so Mike D makes his entrance, then Kuro goes straight for him, knocking him to the outside, hitting a dive, and then he goes for a cannonball in the corner while Mike D's like seated, and Mike D catches him in the cannonball and sort of gut wrenches him up into a powerbomb position, which looked amazing. Then Kuro goes to hit a dive, and he's caught by Mike D. And Mike D hits a powerbomb on the apron, taking him out, hitting brutal shots to the back as well with awesome looking forearms. And then you get into the ring, and it's just all Mike D. Just insane power, insane strength, insane agility, and he hits this spinning gut wrench powerbomb for the win. Yeah, Mike D looked like an absolute monster coming out of this match, and I think it was awesome. It was genuinely awesome. It's a shame we didn't get the Axel Tischer match, but I have no complaints about this. This match was not particularly long. It was short and sweet, did exactly what it needed to do, made Mike D look awesome, made Kuro look awesome. I have zero complaints about this. Then for the Progress Wrestling Women's Championship, Nina Samuels took on Vert Vixen, who took on Rio. Now, I really liked this match. I thought it was really damn good. I really liked how it was structured, in that the sort of feud that has been escalating across the world between Vert Vixen and Rio was ultimately the undoing of this, and it was Nina Samuels picking the bones and picking the scraps as those two would go for each other. It's a pretty, it's been done before in triple threat matches, but I thought it was executed really well here, because Nina Samuels is the perfect character to work for it, and the work that Vert Vixen and Rio were putting in was also great. Like, this was a really, really fun triple threat match, and it led to an insane sequence towards the end where my heart was in my mouth, because I was like, Rio's going to win. Rio's going to win. When Rio hit, so first of all, you got a sick looking deadlift suplex brainbuster thing from Vert Vixen, and Vert Vixen also hit a Blue Thunderbomb for a near fall on Nina Samuels, and then Nina Samuels ends up getting hit with a package pile driver from Riho. And the way it was framed, the way it was shot, it looked like the ref was like dead center of the ring. So I was like, there's no way Nina's kicking out of this. 1, 2, somehow Vert Vixen manages to pull out the ref, and then Riho is just staring daggers at Vert Vixen. Then they sort of like brawl. Riho gets sent to the outside, and a starstruck from Nina Samuels, and Nina Samuels picks up the win. This was really good. This was really damn good. I really liked how it was structured. I really liked the Riho and Vert Vixen interaction. Nina Samuels being that kind of bad guy who's picking the bones, picking the scraps. It all worked really well for me. Post-match as well made Riho look amazing because she just destroyed Vert Vixen with more package pile drivers. It was class. Like, that was probably the biggest angle we got on the show, but it worked. With it being the only angle on the show, it's really, really memorable because it happened after the match. It happened with Vert Vixen getting package pile drivered, which again, brutal move. Yeah, solid triple threat. Really enjoyable. Yeah, no complaints really. Okay, then we have the scramble match for the Progress Proteus Championship as Paul Walter Hauser, actor from Succession, I think he's in, and the New Naked Gun, versus Simon Miller, versus Adam Priest, versus Charles Crowley, versus Effie. This match was really, really fun. You look at the guys in the ring, this is of course going to be fun. And it was really fun. There was some fun comedy. The opening where Charles Crowley digs his hand into his hat, pulls out his fist, and then just starts wailing on everyone was really, really fun. You had some nice interactions in there between Simon Miller and Charles Crowley. They've got history with this belt. A lot of it all made sense. And this was the in-ring debut of Paul Walter Hauser. So that was always interesting to see. And props to Paul Walter Hauser. He was taking pile drivers in this match. And I was like, damn. He's committed, and fair play to him. Fair play to Paul Walter Hauser. He hit a Samoan drop as well. He hit a really cool looking inverted DDT on a steel chair. That also looked sick. So there was a lot of cool stuff in here. Simon Miller getting misted by Charles Crowley. Adam Priest just sort of getting the heat from the crowd. Effie doing some fun stuff as well, getting Simon Miller and Charles Crowley to nearly kiss. It was all really, really fun. The match ended with Paul Walter Hauser hitting his finisher, the sort of inverted arm hammerlock DDT thing. I don't really know what to call it. It's almost like a face buster. Onto the steel chair, onto Adam Priest, picking up the 1, 2, 3. Paul Walter Hauser is the new Proteus champion. I'm torn on this. In one instance, I get it. I understand Paul Hauser can show up to premieres, he can show up to events and everything wearing the Proteus Championship. He wasn't like bad in the ring, he was good in the ring as well. Like, wasn't like, it's not like he was terrible in the ring or anything like that. He was good. But I do feel like there was more to do with Simon Miller's reign. I do feel a bit burnt by celebrities with championships. And I do wonder how this is going to play out. Like, is Paul Walter Hauser going to be at every show in the ballroom? Or is he just going to defend it in the US? I'm intrigued to see how it goes. As it stands right now, I don't think I'm a fan of the choice. We will see how this plays out. You know, this might lead to, like, I don't know, Chris Pratt taking on Charles Crowley, which could be, like, an insane sight. I don't know how it's going to play out. But as the choice stands right now, I think there was more to do with Simon Miller's reign. I would have liked to have seen him lose it to a bad guy, considering Simon's so likeable. This could have made a bad guy look really, really good just by, like, beating Simon, taking away what we love, which is Simon's first title. So, yeah, I think we'll have to see how this plays out, see how many shows Paul Walter Hauser does, whether this is just like a reign until Super Strong style. But yeah, overall, when it happened, it didn't sit right with me, and it sat right with me a little bit less as time has gone on. Yeah, not 100% sure if I'm a fan of this, but we'll see. We shall see. The match itself was really good, was really fun. cool spots, fun spots. But yeah, I think this is a wait and see. Then we got the match that I was most excited for on this show, and that was Cara Noir taking on Minoru Suzuki, two of my favourite wrestlers of all time. This was great. I knew this was going to be great. It's Suzuki and Cara Noir. The ending is what I do want to focus on, because the ending was insane. But this match started off with graps. It started off with Suzuki going after the feet, going after the hands, doing the joint manipulation stuff on Cara Noir, and just chopping the piss out of each other, because it's a Minoru Suzuki match. Cara's chest was red, Suzuki's chest was red. It all worked really, really well, and it led to this spot where they're just beating the piss out of each other, and Suzuki just hits a forearm to the face of Noir, and Noir just drops like a fly. Picks him back up, they're trading chops again, hits the same forearm, great kip-up kick from Cara Noir, hits a load of big flurry of offense, hits the blackout sleeper, and it looks like he's going to get Suzuki out, and then Suzuki sort of powers him up, and he's got Cara Noir on his back while Cara Noir's got the sleeper in, and he just flips Noir over, as you do, and they usually land on their back. Usually land on their back, get a headlock in or something like that. No. Instead, he just flips Cara Noir straight onto his head, the top of his head, and it looked terrifying. I was like, Jesus Christ, I hope Cara Noir is okay after that landing. And then it was a gotch pile driver for the 1-2-3. Suzuki picks up the win. It was scary. It was one of the scariest looking bumps that I've seen in a long, long time, where I've actually, my jaw just hit the floor when it happened. I was like, he landed right on the top of his head, and I was scared. So I hope Cara Noir is okay. He did walk out on his own 2 feet. He was being handled by the ref. So I hope everything's okay. This was a really good match. This was a really, really damn good match. And Suzuki versus Cara Noir was pretty much what I wanted it to be. Chop fest, grapple fest, murder grandpa. Yeah, it was great. And Cara Noir's on this streak of having really, really damn good matches. So yeah, it was an awesome match. I hope Cara Noir's okay. And then we have the main event for the Progress World Championship, as Luke Jacobs took on Michael Oku in one of the matches of the year. These two cannot put on a bad match. They genuinely can't. In my opinion, this match, I've seen their match from the Rev Pro Anniversary show. I preferred this match to that one, because I feel like the dynamics were a bit off in that one. Here, bad guy Luke Jacobs versus good guy Michael Oku was awesome. It was so class. You had, just from the get-go, before the ring announcements have even been done, they are just squaring up to each other. They are getting in each other's face, talking shit. It was awesome. Luke Jacobs flipping off a mirror. Everything about it worked. And then they just start beating the piss out of each other straight away. Really fast-paced. And just high-octane stuff. This was just so fast-paced from the get-go. You have Michael Oku going to hit his moonsault and then missing. Luke going for his clotheslines. They just told this story that they know each other so well. And the key piece of offense in here was the lariat from Luke Jacobs. Luke Jacobs hit a number of sick lariats here. Probably the coolest being the one that was on the apron, where Michael Oku just flipped. He just flipped on the apron, and then he gets dragged right to the top of the entrance ramp, suplex on the entrance ramp. Jacobs is just taunting, he's getting in the face of a mirror down at the bottom, and then just Michael Oku just went flying in. He just comes flying in, takes him out, brawling back into the ring. It was just non-stop carnage, with some really damn good near falls from a frog splash from Michael Oku, which I really, really liked. And then you just had this final stretch where it looks like Luke might tap out. It looks like Michael Oku might have his number, because he's hit numerous frog splashes. He's locked in the half crab. He's destroying the leg of Luke Jacobs. And particularly that last stretch where he was in the half crab and Luke just did one tap. My heart was in my mouth. The ending to this match was so well executed, and he's crawling towards the rope. You've got a mirror in his face on the outside telling him to tap as well, and just as it looks like he's going to tap, he reaches the ropes. So well executed. And the final stretch where it was just clothesline galore from Luke Jacobs. He hit one, kick out of one from Oku, and yeah, I leapt to the ceiling because kick outs at one, when done right, are my favourite. And Michael Oku's just firing up. He's firing up in the ring. Boom. Clothesline to the back of the head. Boom. Another lariat from Luke. 1, 2, 3. Luke Jacobs retains the Progress World Championship, and he will be going on to face Cara Noir at Super Strong Style. I think that match is going to be awesome, but this match was awesome as well. I think this is the best Michael Oku Jacobs match that I've seen personally. I know they've had quite a few, but this is the best that I've seen. I'm a huge fan, absolutely huge fan of this match. One of my favourite matches of the year, and it capped off what was a really fun and enjoyable 2 hours of pro wrestling. Like, this was wrestling done really, really well. I may not be a fan of the Paul Walterhauser choice, but I think we can let it play out and let it see where it goes. The Cara Noir match was great, had a scary finish. Women's title match was really good. Tag Team Open was really good. Triple Threat was really good. Mike D looks awesome. There was a lot of stuff in this show that was really damn good. Overall, I give the show 4 out of 5. It's one that, if you're looking for some great wrestling on your WrestleMania weekend, check this out, because it might make you a fan, particularly that main event. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Were you a fan? Were you not? Let me know, and I'll try to apply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.